It's another 1-2. All's well that ends well.
How come they're never easy? They look good on paper, but I'll tell you what, that was about as stressful as you get.
Yeah, I've got to talk about the major talking point. Obviously, that 10-second penalty for Oscar. Where do you sit on that now?
I mean, safety car seemed like it was called in a bit late. Leader controls. I think Max accelerated. Oscar braked, which made it look worse than it was. The telemetry didn't look like it looked on TV, but is what it is.
We understand the brake pressure was 60 psi. Am I right saying that? Whereas the one that I suppose was set a precedent was George in Canada, which was 30. So it was double that. Would you accept, therefore, that perhaps it was due a penalty because of that?
I think anytime you get into these penalties, there's an element of subjectivity. You know, I think when they're pounding on the brakes, they're 130, 140 psi. So, you know, trying to get temperature in the tires. It's wet, late call, close one.
I've got to say, Zach, on paper,
what did Jensen think? He knows he's been in around this track. What did you think?
Do you really want to hear my opinion?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Well, I think the biggest issue was that when the safety car put his lights out, Oscar had just started accelerating. So he's gone from sort of 60 miles an hour to 130 miles an hour in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And at that point, he's like, well, I need to slow down because there's a safety car in front of me and I need to get a gap. I would also say that it also looked very aggressive. And if it was in the dry, it might be all right. But there's spray.
Wet.
So there's the visibility's not there.
Who asked him anyways?
Exactly.
I was going to say, on paper, it's a fantastic day. Another fantastic day for you guys. P1, P2, of course, for Oscar, that's going to really hurt. I mean, he drove a fantastic race up until that moment. I mean, it was his race to lose, really. But at the same time, you've got Lando who wins his home Grand Prix. So it's very mixed emotions, I guess, for you guys today.
100%. Couldn't be happier for Lando. Couldn't be happier for the team. Disappointed for Oscar, for sure. He drove an unbelievable race, but you know, you come across penalties every once in a while, and some are marginal, some are clear, some are wrong, and just kind of is what it is.
We're at the halfway point of the season now. There's just 8 points separating your two drivers. You've got, it looks almost an unassailable lead now in the constructors.
Not if you put me in the car.
Okay, yeah, well, all right. But you've definitely got a big gap there, which is why they're being allowed to race. What's happened over the last couple of races to Lando's confidence? It does look a different...
I think Montreal was actually a nice moment for all of us in hindsight, that it just kind of took the air out of the balloon, and we just kind of got it over with, and everyone was talking about it. And I kind of feel like it's raised everyone's confidence and comfort of it's happened, it was a mistake. So I think we'll see other incidents in the near future, but there'll be racing mistakes, and racing mistakes are going to happen.
I think now we've seen from both drivers that emotional roller coaster you go through when you're fighting for a world championship, and we see it here with Oscar. It's the first time I've seen Oscar upset in front of the cameras anyway. How do you control that? Is that down to you, or do you have someone else in the team that keeps them on the straight and narrow?
All of it. I mean, I kind of whispered in his ear there and got a chuckle, so I thought, all right, I'm starting to get him in a better mood. You know, you understand. I mean, you know as well as anyone, if you feel like something was taken from you, you're not going to get out of the car and be all chuff about it. But he'll be fine. It is what it is, and he's leading the world championship. And he'll come back at the next race and go for it.
You've got to say the gap's now, what, 6 points, I think it is, between the two of them? 8 points, okay. 8 points. So it's getting closer and closer. As we say, Oscar there for the first time, we're seeing some emotion out of him. Of course, it's because of the steward's decision, but there's more and more work for you guys to do to manage the two drivers. I mean, first of all, I want to say thank you for letting them race, because Austria was fantastic. We all loved it. But what are you going to have to do to make sure we keep seeing them race until the end of the year?
I think just keep doing what we're doing. You know, treat them, you know, equally, fairly, transparently, good communications. And, you know, if we can continue to build a gap, then, you know, we want it to be up to them to decide who wins the championship if it comes down to be the two of them, and we'll treat them equally and fairly, and may the best man win. And they're both very clean drivers, so that's what's cool, is you don't feel like one's going to run one off the track. They're going to fight hard. Again, mistakes will happen along the way, but I think it's going to be an epic battle down to the final race.
Well, let's hope so. Can we have a quick listen in, actually, to Oscar's team radio, the team radio? Here you go. You can have a listen in on this walkie-talkie here.
Well done, mate. Good race. Good race. I think that was unlucky. Oscar, I know how you feel about that, and let's talk about it once you're out the car.
Yep. I think I'll get myself banned for the year if I say anything here. Thanks for the effort. Deserve that one. At least Hulkenberg got a podium. Not everything was bad, hey?
Yeah, that's right.
look, it happens. It's motor racing. Sometimes you don't get the decision that goes your way. Sometimes these things level themselves out, and sometimes they don't. You're going to have an arm around the shoulder. He's clearly upset about it. So he's saying that you can hear
it's
it.
completely understandable.
Yeah.
He's being very genuine there, and I'd be that way too if I was in his seat. But he'll move on, and you know, we still got a lot of racing to go, and you know, at the end of the day, it cost him a win in 7-point spread, so he won't be happy with that, but he's got a lot of racing to go.
How do you celebrate this one with Lando, though? I mean, this is a British Grand Prix win. I mean, what's happening here?
I think you'll see Oscar by the moment getting in a better mood. Right, you'll let him cool down, and he'll be happy for the team. It was a great result, so we'll celebrate accordingly.
Can I just ask one more thing? We're obviously looking at the result. Great result. That was a tricky race. There were lots of calls that were needed to be made from the pit wall or the driver's decision. Do you think you made all the right calls? You won the race, but I think you had the best car. But you know.
Yeah, I mean, we were a lot of debating on pit wall, but I think we stopped at the right time. You know, when do we come for slicks? And as soon as you're looking at Russell, he's going off the circuit and all that. So I think we did make the right calls every time.
Yeah, and we're hoping to get Andrea Stella in and join us whilst you're still here, but we can't see it for the moment. Just a quick word on it, because he's just over actually there with Austrian TV. His leadership, I know we talk about it so often, but it seems like everybody goes over the top for him. They take that extra step.
He's an amazing leader. We were chatting a lot on pit wall about what was going on, and he just keeps everyone very focused, job at hand, doesn't get excited. And what you see with him is exactly how he is in the factory. He's a fantastic communicator, so everybody kind of knows what's going on. He's very calm, and so keeps everyone in a good headspace.
Yeah, I bet he does. And as we head towards the summer break, does it keep you in a, let's go back, actually. I mean, there's been you've been very generous with your TPC car to Martin and to Brad Pitt a couple of weeks ago whilst we're talking about these things. Must have been a little bit nervous there might have been some crash damage there, weren't you?
No, I tell you what, Brad did a good job, and he looked at the data and he got going. Martin's obviously a pro, so I wasn't too worried about Martin at all. He actually gave us some interesting feedback as far as kind of what a driver's going through today now that he's kind of seen what's on the steering wheel.
Please don't.
Yeah, no. He's out. Don't worry. I don't think he's eligible for a super license anymore.
Zach, I want to ask a question. You guys introduced a new floor in FP1 here that you didn't opt to use because, you know, for multiple reasons, and mostly because the next race is going to be a sprint race and you wouldn't have the time to decipher what it was worth. So you didn't run it here. You're possibly going to run it in Spa. But what we've noticed this year so far is these faster, higher speed tracks, the pack is kind of a little bit closer. You got a lot of threat from Max, particularly in his Red Bull, and even this weekend the Ferrari. So do you already have an idea of what you think we can expect going to Spa?
I think kind of more of the same. Maybe not a 30-second win, but more of the same as far as how close it is. Right, this was a unique race because of the situation. The floor worked well, so we'll be unwrapping that and throwing that on both cars. It was always intended to just be a test part this weekend, but we were happy with what we saw. So more to come. But I think all these races have been epic, even though the numbers are, what is it, 8 out of 11, 9 out of 12. Every race is pretty high stressful. So as long as they're great to watch on TV, I hope we do another 9 out of 12. But it's an exciting season.